Portrait of a Lady on Fire, one of 2019's most critically acclaimed and top movies. And when I mean critically acclaimed, I mean very, very critically acclaimed. And I just want to give you guys some stats, some numbers that back my claim up. On both Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, this movie has near perfect scores. It has a 98% certified fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes and an average rating of 8.99. While on Metacritic, it has a Metascore of 95. On Letterboxd, which is basically a movie social networking website where you can also record all the movies that you've watched in the past, it has an average rating of 4.4 out of 5, which is the 13th highest rating on the entire website. And it's legit enough for it to be the only rating in terms of flames, not stars. And finally, on the streaming platform Mubi, it has an average rating of 9.2 out of 10, which I believe is the second highest rating on the entire website, and even ahead of The Godfather. So, yeah, it's pretty hyped. So what exactly is the plot of this fantastic movie? Well, it's about a French painter who is hired and ventures out to an isolated French island to secretly paint a wedding portrait for a closed-off young woman. And through this process, and as they spend more time together, sparks start to fly. I want to start by saying that I definitely had high expectations going to this movie, and I'm happy to say that it lived up to pretty much all of them. But first, I want to go over the parts that I didn't really like as much. I thought the plot was pretty straightforward and cookie cutter, actually. The romance part of the movie was pretty standard, nothing too groundbreaking, and pretty much something you see in every good romance movie. But that was pretty much that. But now on to the parts I did like, and there are a lot. I did like how the movie was a bit slower and took its time in establishing its characters, its setting, and the characters' motivations. The build-up of this tension between the characters and the development of the characters was very rewarding to watch. I thought having a female director, Céline Sciamma, for this type of story was also a great choice. The women and their love scenes were shot in a much more realistic and less objectified way. So in other words, they weren't shot for the horny male teenagers that is the typical audience for more blockbustery romance movies. Also, the acting by the actresses Adèle Haenel and Noémie Merlant was simply perfect. It conveyed all of the emotions that they were feeling, and it definitely elevated their scenes to the next level. And, it's just some of the best acting I've seen in any movie, ever. And I also really liked how the movie was able to tie in references and points from earlier scenes. And there's this one particular scene that gave me goosebumps for probably a minute straight. And I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. I think you'll know the one I'm talking about if you go watch it. The technical aspects of Portrait of a Lady on Fire were probably even more impressive. First of all, the costumes for each character was amazing. The amount of effort, the amount of time that it must have taken to create several of these dresses, several of these costumes, is very impressive. There's also no main score. The majority of the sounds of this movie come from the actresses and the characters themselves. So things like their footsteps, the fire cackling, their dialogue. And as someone who's a big movie soundtracks person, I didn't really mind this at all, and I thought that this allowed the movie to be even more grounded and to be even more realistic. Now, the aspect of the movie I enjoy the most has to be the visuals, whether it's the stunning cinematography or the vivid colors. The movie was shot in 8K, so every single scene was gorgeous, every single color popped off the screen. The ocean at the very beginning, the interior shots, the rooms, the light from the candle and the fire are some of my favorite shots for sure. I hear the phrase every frame a painting thrown around a lot, but in this case, truer words have never been said. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend Portrait of a Lady on Fire to people who don't like slow movies or who don't want to read subtitles. But there's just so much to like about this movie that I think everyone should watch it at some point. For me, it's become one of my favorite romance movies, and for that reason, I give Portrait of a Lady on Fire a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have a movie that you want me to review or to check out, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more of this content. It really does help me a lot. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.